Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Path to One journey. This is episode 52. So probably many of you are aware, because I see your post on Facebook, the Game of Thrones series ended about a month ago, I would have to say. And just like everybody else out there, I was disappointed with the ending of it. But I will admit I wasn't the biggest Game of Thrones fan out there. I think I watched this last season just out of a sense of obligation. Anyways, the thing that I want to point out is that there was actually one scene towards the end of the season that really stuck out to me. There's this one character, his name is Theon, and at the beginning of this show, Theon was accepted into the, I guess what I'll call him, the good guy family. He was, part of them. He was adopted, and they loved him to death. And throughout the show, he betrayed the family, and he fought the family in battle, and he at one point took over their castle. Then he burned their castle down. I mean, he just became this real prick on the show, right? But then at some point, he actually got captured by one of the mutual enemies, and he was tortured. He ate enough humble pie, probably to kill at least 10 elephants. And throughout the show, he realized that, of course, the good family was still the good family. And in one of the final episodes, he came back to the good family, and they accepted him as one of their own, because that's what family do. Yeah, and so he was getting ready to defend one of the family members from the evil Nightwalkers that were attacking the castle. And there was one scene in there in particular where he walked up to, one of the characters in there, and he's obviously feeling regret. He's feeling very remorseful for what he had done. And he walks up to one of the characters, and he starts to go off onto the speech, and he says, for all the things that I've done. And this character cuts him off, and he goes, all the things that you have done have led you to where you are today. And you are a good man for it. And that scene to me was actually really powerful, because it's actually a culmination of not only the successes that we have, but the failures that we have too, that lead us to where we are today. And whether we grow or whether we learn from those particular items that we've experienced throughout the life. And then one of the things that I was thinking of, and I just had a conversation about this last night with a friend of mine. He's using LinkedIn to do some lead generation for his business as well. And he and I were chatting, and he's used bits and pieces of the program that I put together, and he has seen some success. But he was telling me last night, he said, I know that, your process, and it works and stuff, but I'm actually finding this other process is working a little bit better, something that he kind of came up with on his own. And so I was a little bit intrigued by that, but I remembered that, while he and I were talking, like back in my 20s, I was really obsessed with being right. It was just one of those things where, I was extremely insecure. I had way too much intelligence in my head and not enough experience behind me. I didn't have enough growth as a human being at that point in time. And I just remember on more than one occasion, somebody would walk up to me and say, hey, you know what, this didn't work. And I had no problem looking at them and saying, well, it's because you didn't follow the process I mapped out, right? Not every process is going to work for everybody. Not the same tool is going to work for every situation to fix. Sometimes you have to adapt, and sometimes you have to move forward. And I remembered at one point throughout this journey that I'm on, this 1% journey, this path to improvement, it's one of those questions that popped up along the way, is that what's really the ultimate goal? What is the ultimate benefit that you are trying to bring to the world, Cliff? Are you more focused on being right? Are you more focused on being effective? Are you more focused on helping people? And that's one of the things that I've always come from, is the fact that my commitment to helping people has always meant more to me than being right. And, when you rub the fact in people's faces that, well, you didn't follow the process, therefore no wonder it didn't work for you. Well, that's really not saying a lot, because you're not helping to solve the key problem, especially if somebody actually does follow your process and they don't get the results that they're seeing. So with my friend last night, I very really could have said to him, well, you didn't follow my process, and of course it didn't work. But there was something that was nagging me about our conversation that I thought maybe that there's an opportunity here. So rather than just focus on the fact that he wasn't following the process, I said, hey, you know what? Let's table this discussion until tomorrow, and let's flush out a process that we can follow effectively that can help to move your business forward. And I sense an opportunity there. So just by flipping my whole perspective on life versus, before being focused on being right and creating something and saying, hey, you need to follow this process or else it's not going to work for you, versus, the process today, which is, being more effective, focus on making people successful. That alone right there has meant a lot more to me and has really been a guiding light into what it is that I'm working on. So I'm very excited to actually have our meeting today with him to kind of talk about what we can do to flesh out this other process that seems to have brought him some initial success. Flesh it out, and I'll see what I can do with that, and I'll probably talk about it again sometime later on this week. But it's just one of those things where this is, when I've talked before in my postings about the 1% journey that I'm on across mind, body, business, and relationships, one of the things that every opportunity presents some aspect to be able to grow, and whether that opportunity is actually a setback or a success, whatever you can learn from it, move forward. And for me, some of my biggest breakthroughs have always been in the moments of failure. So, all of those failures have added up. All my successes have added up to the point where I am today, right? Who is the person that Cliff is today? And Cliff is the person that genuinely wants to help people. That's my primary focus, and that is what I'm moving forward on. And the more that I can help people, the more skills, the more tools that I can provide to them, the better off that I will be to be able to service more people that is in the future, i.e. the path to 1 million. Anyways, I just wanted to share those thoughts with you today. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. It's Monday morning. I actually like Monday mornings because that's when a lot of exciting stuff happens. So anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow with another story. Have a great day.